Hello and welcome to this Functional Skills English video lesson for Bournemouth and Ball College. Okay, so what we're looking at today is continuing looking at the reading part of the exam. I'm going to look at the questions for both Level 1 and Level 2 where you are comparing ideas from different texts. So aim of the lesson is to be able to compare two non-fiction texts and be able to find relevant quotations from the text to support their idea. Like I said, this is all about getting you ready for the exam, focusing on those comparison questions. Okay, and final aim for today is to be able to use linking words to show similarities and differences. So although in the exam itself we don't really need to use linking words, it's a useful skill to have for any aspect of your writing. Okay, so a quick starter, very straightforward. Pause the video, a couple of minutes. Can you find the connectives in these sentences? Okay, so hopefully you found them all. The water was warm, however, it was murky. Okay, so however is the connective there. Linda was tall, whereas Tanya was short. Again, whereas is the linking connective. You could go to the playground. On the other hand, you might want to stay inside. So here, it's an actual phrase. On the other hand, used showing difference there as well. Okay, so what we're what this is linked to is the parts of the exam where you have to look at two of the texts and get information, compare them from the ideas from them. Okay, so this is both for Level 1 and Level 2. It's a similar skill, obviously slightly different exam questions, but the skill itself is the same. So Level 1, in Level 1 this is the only question where you have to compare two, but it is worth 3 marks, so it's good to know the skill, and obviously as you're going on to Level 2, it's a more important skill. So like it says, compare text B and text C to find ideas that are the same. Give one idea that are the same in text B and text C. Okay, so there's 2 parts of the question. First one, what is the same idea? So it might be, for example, they both say that hurricanes are dangerous. Okay, so the idea is the general idea, and then a quotation from each text which supports that idea. So, for example, text B might say, the hurricane claimed 20 lives. Text C, for example, it might be, the hurricane destroyed hundreds of buildings. Okay. So both of those quotations support the idea that hurricanes are dangerous. Okay, so as the advice says at the bottom, questions about being able to compare information to texts, find a similarity between them. You need to read each text carefully, find what is similar, and then give one quotation from each text to support that idea. Okay, in the Level 2 exam questions, okay, so there were a couple of questions like this. So as you can see, this one is worth 6 marks. Okay, so it's the same idea, yeah. So one idea, one quotation here, 2 similarities, 1 quotation for each similarity. So it's a slightly weirdly worded question, but actually it's asking for exactly the same thing. Yeah. So compare some ideas about what you need to do to protect yourself from scams. So again, it's about saying what's the same, and the quotation supports each similarity. So a key thing with both of these questions is that the idea and the quotation need to be worded differently. Okay, so we'll look at that further on. So what you don't want to do is, say for example, the quotation from text B was hurricanes killed 20 people. You wouldn't say hurricanes killed 20 people because it's not the same idea in both texts. So you want a general idea which is the same and then a specific quotation to support that idea. So Level 2, if you see it's exactly the same question, you just got to do twice as much. So you're finding 2 similarities, so you have to find 4 quotations in total, 2 each to support each similarity. Obviously the key thing here also to remember is that the points are linked. Okay, so your quotations need to support the idea that you've stressed in part A. So if your similarity is wrong, then it's going to be very difficult to get the quotations to support that idea. Okay, so it's finding the similarities is the key point. Okay, so sometimes it will be asking for similarities, sometimes it will be differences. Okay, how they've got different ideas. So again, so that's the first thing to key is asking for similarities or differences. What's the topic or theme you're looking for? Okay. So if you have time, you could create a grid showing what each text says about the topic and use that to support your answer. Okay, so although in the exam itself, you don't necessarily have to use linking words a lot. Okay, they're really useful in all aspects of your writing, both for the exam, both for your academic work, and also, if you're writing emails and reports and other things for your vocational career. So what I want you to do is pause the video now. You've got a list of linking words there, some which show similarity, some which show difference, and I just want you, in your books or somewhere, write down a list. So write similarity, difference, which linking word goes where. So take about 5 minutes or so, pause the video, then we'll come back and check. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. So hopefully you've got something similar to this box here. So similarity and also furthermore, in addition, both to. Okay, and difference, but although, however, whereas, on the other hand, in contrast. Okay, so again, like I said, when you are writing, these are the phrases that you can use, and obviously some of those turned up in the first activity you did on the video. Okay, well done. So we're going to practice using this language now. So I'm going to show you 3 pairs of pictures. Each time I pause the video, and I want you to find one similarity and one difference. So I want you to write a sentence showing a similarity between the 2 pictures, sentence showing the difference. And each time I want you to use a different linking word. Okay, so there are 3 pairs of pictures in total. So use 3 different similarity words, 3 different difference words. If that makes sense. Okay, so in total you'll be writing 6 sentences here. Okay, so first pair of pictures. Okay, I've got 2 houses. Okay, one of these is my house. Can you guess which one it is? Okay, so pause the video and then write a sentence showing a similarity and showing a difference. And you can just call them house A and house B. I haven't labelled them, but I will know what you mean. So pause the video, write your sentences. Okay, welcome back. So similarity. So an example you could have is, excuse me, using these linking words here. So both houses have windows. Okay, it's a similarity. Difference could be house A has 3 stories, whereas house B only has 1 story. House A is very clean and tidy, but house B is very dirty, and so on and so on. Okay, good. So next pair of sentences, sorry, pairs of pictures, 2 sentences, 2 different pictures, 2 different cars here. Again, one sentence showing similarity, one sentence showing difference, but again using 2 different linking words from used in the first pair. So pause the video, write your sentences, then we'll come back and check. Okay, so similarity, picture A is a car, picture B is also a car. Picture A has wing mirrors, picture B also has wing mirrors. Okay, and then a difference, car A has 3 wheels, however, car B has 4 wheels. Car A is very ugly, on the other hand, car B is very stunning or very attractive, and so on and so on. And the last 2, so we've got Bournemouth and London. Okay, so for this one, not so much the visual, but more things you could think about comparing the 2 cities. So again, pause the video, a couple of minutes, write your sentences, come back and check. Okay, have you done that? So you could have something like Bournemouth is by the beach, but whereas London is by a river. Or you could say both London and Bournemouth get very busy in the summertime, and so on and so on. Okay, so the main idea is just starting thinking about what similarities and differences you can have. Okay, so obviously in the exam itself, well, you're not looking at pictures, you're looking at text, but it's the same idea, finding things which are similar, finding things which are different. Okay, so these are in the Moodle. Okay, so I'll bring them up in a bit. So I want you to compare a quick, just very quickly read the two, text 1, text 2. What information is the same in the two passages? Okay, so just close this one. No, that's not one there. There we go. Okay, so we've got two articles here. Okay, so read the two articles. And then, like I said here, text 1, what's the topic? What's the main idea of both? Okay. So pause the video, see what you can find out. Okay. So topic, it's the same topic. It's England, going back a few years, but England's participation or England's exit from the World Cup. Yeah, so topic's football, main idea. So this is where the difference is. Okay, so first one is maybe talking about the players which need to leave or maybe stop playing for England. Second article is maybe talking about looking forward to the future and new what new players and kind of positive look for. So although they're both about World Cup, and the first one, Article 1, is maybe a lot more pessimistic, a lot more negative. Article 2 seems a lot more positive. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to find ideas which are the same. Okay, and I want a quotation from each text to support your point of view. Okay. So pause the video and move on. Okay, so an idea which is the same. So what you could talk about is how both are about the World Cup exit. Okay, so both are about who to blame. Really, that would be one. Okay, and then what you do the same thing again. So an article, so quotations to support it. What can they do to make sure it isn't a wasted journey to Brazil? Okay, and then kind of same idea. England manager now has the task of turning the latest crop of raw into European force. Okay, so kind of both about looking forward to the future. Okay, and then a difference between the two articles. Okay, so pause the video again. Can you find a difference between the two using this idea? Yeah. So although it says ideas are the same here, ideas which are different, and support the two. Okay, so possibly what you could have had is Article 1 is focusing on the players that should leave. Okay, so it says, for example, for Frank Lampard, Phil Gallagher, Glenn Johnson too, this is a 3-line swan song. So a swan song is like the last time you do a performance, or your last time you play for a country or act or perform or do something. Okay, so whereas the second one you could say is that's looking at the part who needs to leave. This is looking for the future. So it could be answering like so it could be they all progressive technical students of the game, feature positive brand, possession, pace and passing football. Okay, so this one's talking about who needs to leave. This one's talking about who needs to start and what the future is. Okay, good. So if you go back to the PowerPoint. So what I want you to do now is actually look at some exam questions. Okay, so again on the folder on Moodle. Okay, I'm actually going to get you to do both. Okay, so if I show you what the articles are. Okay, so you've got comparison questions here. Putting it up. Okay, so there's one for level 1, one for level 2, but I thought it would be useful for you to have a go at both. So the level 2 one comes first, not quite sure why, and then the level 1. Okay, so like I said, have a go at both, because it's, even though it's the different levels, it's basically the same skill. Okay, I mean, the only difference is maybe in how it is organised. So obviously in level 1, it's a lot more straightforward. Just give a quotation from each one. Whereas level 2, you are kind of talking more about, you know, it's not so structured. So what I would say for level 2 is do one similarity and then one quotation each, and then the second similarity and one quotation each. That way you will keep your answers nice and structured and straightforward. Okay, so here, remember what we said, so this one's talking about similarities. Okay, recent improvements to public transport, so 2 similarities and a quotation to support each similarity. Okay, for the second one, talking about computer games, just says find information about computer games that is the same. Okay, so it's more general in a way. So one piece of information that's the same, and then one quotation from text B, one quotation from text C. Yeah, the other thing is just make sure also that you get the right texts. So here is text A and text C for level 2, whereas this one is text B and text C. So it will change each time. Won't always know which, sometimes it'll be A and B, etc., depending on how you've organised it. So be careful of that one. Okay, and then here you've got the level 2 paper. So that's obviously for the first question. And then you've also got the level 1 paper. Okay, so have a go at those questions. Try both, like I said. The more practice you get, the better. And then make sure you take those in for your teacher next lesson. Okay, so thanks very much for listening today. Enjoy that and see you again soon.